Okay. I'm gonna go back to car chases for now. Car chase streams. Alright. 1 second, guys, while I get this set up here. Car chase streams. Second, guys, while I get this set up here. A woman runs after police chase comes to an end in Long Beach.
To a point where there were some dead-end streets. Also not the case. They managed to sort of outmaneuver police officers. From this vantage point, we can't see any officers on the tail. Oh, there's one car right there with a second behind it. So you can see there are probably about a half a dozen police cruisers following single file behind this vehicle. Some sort of...
When I catch the video, Chloe.
What is it on?
There. Second behind it. So you can see there are probably about six.
When I catch the video, Chloe. Let me see.
There. Second. Okay. So you can see there.
That is catching it, Chloe.
When I catch.
Let me see.
Supposed to do?
Let me turn down the. That is catching it, Chloe. Okay.
You're set.
Maroon sedan that was stolen in the South LA area sometime earlier tonight. They've been following it for about half an hour now. You can see this vehicle is now slowing down as it goes over some speed bumps, making its way through narrow streets, still evading police officers. When it starts to slow down like this, you begin to wonder if the driver is perhaps going to bail out. Often in these situations, we see drivers go to areas that are familiar to them. You can see it's now picking up speed again, going about 40 miles an hour, making some sharp turns right there. That light that you see over top, that's from the LA airship that is following it. So police seem to be pretty close on their tail here. Unclear how this is all going to end. Let me just check in on some emails here, see if we're getting any more updates from police. We have confirmed that this is believed to be a stolen vehicle. Unclear how many people may be inside this sedan at the time, going roughly 60 miles an hour now.
Oh, it's seriously picking up the. You want to watch it on my phone?
Video?
You want to watch videos on my phone? Want to try it?
Okay.
That way it doesn't catch the. Okay, let's try. Because it's catching it. It's echoing and it's driving me fucking crazy.
We're still in the area of Long Beach, is that correct? We believe this to be in Long Beach. Now you see that this driver is steering clear of any freeways and seems to be sticking to mostly surface streets here. Driving up on the sidewalk, it appears now through this intersection. So this is where things are starting to get a little more this driver clearly trying to evade police cruisers that are directly on its tail. Police keeping somewhat of a safe distance there, so they're not immediately up on that vehicle, but they're not giving up on this stolen vehicle, and this driver's not ready to give up yet either. That car seems to be moving just fine. They've not tried any pit maneuvers, don't look to be laying down any sort of spike strips. And right now we are steering clear of any freeways. So it's a Saturday evening. People are out and about in the area, but so far we have not seen it maneuver its way through any real congested areas. So we're just watching this maroon stolen sedan making its way through Long Beach streets, now picking up some speed here. This is the fastest we've seen it go since we've been on the air over the past 5 minutes or so. As I mentioned to you earlier, before we began following this chase, it was going at a pretty high rate of speed when it was maneuvering its way through its streets, got down into the 20s. So this driver does not seem to be too concerned with the police officers who are on its tail, and certainly not ready to give up. Going through an intersection there directly into, oh no, it appeared as though that was a parking lot. Still on the right side of the road, so not pulling any maneuvers where it's going into oncoming traffic, although it does not appear to be abiding by any sort of traffic laws. It's unclear if this car is running any red lights, but it's certainly not coming to a stop, making a left across oncoming lanes of traffic there. This is a more narrow street, but seems to be just sort of winding its way through neighborhoods in the Long Beach area, evading officers that are close on its tail. Police are certainly not ready to give up on this. This is a stolen vehicle, stolen out of the South LA area, but because we know that drivers tend to go to a place that's familiar to them, we wonder why this person is sort of concentrated in this Long Beach area and clearly not eager to get out of the neighborhood, Dory.
Yeah, Dory Rand joining Liz Nagy as we continue to follow this pursuit through Long Beach, right now making a left from Northwood and Caldwell onto 165th Street. And you can see this guy.
This is the closest we've seen the cruiser come to this car while we've been on the air here.
In pursuit, and you have to watch those speed bumps as they go through these residential streets. If you take those too high, you are going to make contact with your bumper to the concrete. We have seen this driver kind of take these wild left turns through oncoming traffic, even if it is for just a brief moment, but traveling at excessive speeds at times on roads that really should not be traveled at this time. It's a Saturday night. People could be out. It does seem pretty quiet in this residential area, which is a good thing for those who live there. They could be in imminent danger with a car driving through this area right here. But you can see that bright burst of blue light from those pursuing officers lighting up Cliveden and Caldwell. This is at Cliveden Avenue right now.
And we now know this driver has made his way into the Compton area. This is a car that police have been pursuing for roughly a half an hour now. They believe that car to be stolen. Unclear how many people are inside the vehicle, but obviously at least one who has pulled some of these wild maneuvers, making very sharp and wide left turns into oncoming traffic, at one point driving up onto a sidewalk. We've not really seen this car come into contact or any close calls with any other vehicles.
Hit the dip. Yeah,
Oh my God, what the hell?
Right there, and we've seen this because this car is mostly stuck to residential areas. It has been going over a lot of speed bumps, even just in the last few minutes or so.
Right, you get the bumps, and then you get the gullies that we all know. If we don't see them coming, and we take them at a little bit too high of a speed, it's going to cause some potential damage to your car. So now, riding over these speed humps with some speed, you can see it, the back end bounce after each one. That one a little bit slower, but still significant bouncing from that car. Now onto a side, really small residential street here, Center Ave, turning off of Caldwell and onto Center Avenue. And you can see that night sun from the pursuing airship, the helicopter that is tracking this now through another gully. You can see the police cruisers have to really slow down for those. Again, those can be even more damaging than the speed bumps or the speed humps through these residential areas. Those little gullies, those washouts can really hit your vehicle really hard.
And you can see there are about at least a half a dozen LAPD cruisers. They seem to be going in single file. At this point, you can see on the road no other vehicles, which is kind of miraculous. As Dory was saying, given that it's a busy Saturday night, we still believe we're in the Compton area at this point. The car seems to be steering clear of any freeways, just sort of evading these officers and maneuvering around city streets. Sometime around 9:25, we do know that LAPD requested a spike strip or pit authorization, but we've not seen any of that happen in the last 20 minutes or so. And maybe we can pull that video up. The most outlandish thing we've seen this driver pull was this just a few minutes ago. About 55 miles an hour drive up on the sidewalk, evading some of the other cars that appeared to be stopped at a stop sign, driving on the sidewalk for a brief period of time, then re-entering this intersection before proceeding. Police officers did not follow the car up onto the sidewalk during all of this, but as you can see, the spotlight from the airship overhead the entire time. This car has not been able to outmaneuver police, and they have not pulled any maneuvers trying to ultimately get this car to stop. They just appear to be giving it its distance at certain points.
Yeah,
here.
traveling eastbound, it looks like on Greenleaf. Now at Greenleaf in Santa Fe, making a right turn. That should be southbound onto Santa Fe. So now traveling southbound on Santa Fe Avenue.
Which is where this all began roughly 20 minutes ago or so, was traveling southbound on Santa Fe, approaching the 405 freeway in South LA. So this car's not looking to go, jump on the freeway and make any distance on here, just sort of making laps around some familiar neighborhoods, it seems.
Whether they're trying to get away or just buy themselves some time, we don't know. That was a green light now under the underpass here. You can see traffic.
There's
Moving pretty pretty nicely on a Saturday night. Not much to talk about in terms of traffic on the freeways, if that becomes another factor, or here as this driver continues on side streets through this Compton neighborhood. But there is wide open road here. You just hope that it doesn't hit a red light at the wrong time, at a pedestrian, at a car, at some kind of cross traffic, but wide open in both directions as this car continues to careen down Santa Fe Avenue, now approaching Victoria Street.
And we're seeing an update from our assignment desk here. The reason that it looked like that car drove up on the sidewalk just a few minutes ago, and we've pointed that out to you a few different times now, was that car appeared to be evading a spike strip, which I did not catch in that video when I was watching it live. So I guess police did try and lay down a spike strip. That car was able to outmaneuver it, drive on the sidewalk straight through the intersection, and keep going. That was easily 10 to 15 minutes ago at this point. That was that maneuver.
Did they just pull it? No, this is the video of the spike strip on the right, and on the left is the live picture. Again, now I believe they were on Victoria. It's tough to see, but really burned by that night sun. They have them fully in their view right now, and the pursuing officers were trying to get the exact pursuing division and where we are going here. But another turn now. Long Beach Boulevard at Cambridge. Long Beach Boulevard, another major thoroughfare, now turning off onto Allington. So this is Allington just off of Long Beach Boulevard.
As we watch these pursuits, we're often sort of looking for something of note. What can we pick out about this vehicle? Are you able to see anybody inside the vehicle? Anything that might be identifying about all of this? And this has really sort of been
God,
the driver,
what the hell is he
vacillating
doing?
between speeds of roughly 30 miles an hour up to about 75. But nothing of real note here. Now this driver appears to be on another residential street, a pretty dark one at this point, but as you keep mentioning, Jory, lit up by the light of that police airship overhead.
My bad.
Barclay Street looks like it's going to take it over to White Avenue. We'll see if it's where I think it is. It should dead end over at White Avenue, Dameron and North Long Beach. Again, this is back into residential areas. I think we might have just been in this similar neighborhood because you see that curve right there. That is pretty atypical of what we've seen in some of these suburban areas, and now turning back again off of Dameron back onto Ron Avenue.
And it looks like at times that this car is about to end up in a neighborhood that looks to be a cul-de-sac or perhaps a dead end. And it appears as though the driver has a pretty good sense of these city streets because they keep being able to outmaneuver police here, not ending up in any area where they're forced to come to a sudden stop. This car's going a pretty low rate of speed at this point and does not seem to be concerned or show any signs of stopping with the officers close on the tail there.
Yeah.
Oh,
You see
Now you
people
can see some people gathering out in the neighborhood, so clearly this has garnered some attention. This is the most activity we've seen.
Now pulling back out, if they make a right, this is Long Beach Boulevard, another U-turn. Now we're
Are
going
you
back on
fucking
Long Beach
kidding me?
Boulevard. And so this is this little neighborhood here. It's on either side of Long
Oh
Beach
my
Boulevard, just by
God.
the LA River, and I believe now traveling back southbound on Long Beach Boulevard.
And again, Saturday night here, you would think there might be a lot more traffic out, people out and about. It's 9 or almost 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. Now this car's making U-turns, but really has not been, caught in traffic at any point or having to pull any real crazy maneuvers to try and get around oncoming traffic or avoid other cars in the area. Now pulling down some sort
Looks
of
like an alley.
side alleyway. We saw this happen just a little while ago before we came on the air. It appeared things were going to come to an end, and the car just keeps turning, evading officers.
And there you see an officer pull right in front of this car
Just
that
box it in there.
could have boxed it in or maybe getting ahead, pulling over. Now we'll see if they get out and pull a spike strip here. Okay, that driver's going to turn through a parking lot and avoid.
Are you fucking
cruise
kidding
back
me?
through an alleyway, now the other way. Moves like this kind of make me think that this person does know this neighborhood, and we're coming to a stop now. Driver is getting out
bailing out.
and running.
Yeah.
Two, we see another person. There's a passenger in the car right now.
Oh,
It's
Jesus.
tough to tell. Is that a woman?
It's difficult to tell whether that's a male or female, but that person is taking off running at a pretty good speed, clearly trying to avoid officers. It appears as though
woman,
it's
I
a
can
woman.
tell.
It's difficult to tell from this angle. Because we've seen this person maneuvering around city streets for the better part of 20 minutes now, you have to believe that this person has some sense of where they are now, sprinting down this alley.
Being lit up by that night sun.
Jesus.
We'll see if there's some place that they try to hide, but right now in the middle of the alley, going to go through a fence, and there's a
Oh,
pursuing
no.
officer. 1, 2,
They're gonna get her.
possibly
They're gonna
3
get
through
her.
the yard. This is not going to last
Taser,
long, and-
taser, taser.
and
No,
she
no,
goes.
no.
Down
That
she
person
goes.
is pinned down.
Okay, so one of those occupants of the car now in custody. This should be the driver. There was a second person who climbed out the driver's seat behind this person. There were at least 2 people in that vehicle. We'll see if our camera operator is able to find what is happening with that second person, but they had a delayed start to get out of that vehicle, less time to get away than this person had, and this person is now in custody. We'll see at least 2 people who are in this vehicle are now in custody, in handcuffs, being walked back to a police car.
And this all began as a pursuit in the South LA area about 9:15 this evening, went on for about 45 minutes. Police believe that car that this person was driving, that red sedan, to have been stolen.
Yeah, so you think about on a Saturday night, people just think they're going to go out for a joyride in a car that's not theirs. They get to spend the night in jail and face multiple charges here, potentially, life-changing mistake that someone makes to make a terrible decision, and look at where they are now, about to head in cuffs into the back of a police cruiser.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens with the other person who was inside that vehicle. It was unclear for most of that pursuit if this was just a driver, if there were perhaps multiple people inside that car. It appeared, as you said, Jory, that we saw at least one other person leap out of that vehicle, take off in a different direction. So you have to imagine there's an entire other team of officers out there, either searching for that person or perhaps taking that person into custody.
Yeah, is it possible to check and see if we see a second scene here? Anyone else in custody? It shouldn't be too far away. That was just about a, yeah, we see those cruisers over there.
Oh,
that is
geez.
where that vehicle came to a stop.
But
And
the trunk popped open, so clearly they're
searching
searching
the
this vehicle
vehicle.
now. It's difficult to tell if there's anybody else there. It doesn't
no,
appear.
there it is right there. That's the second person.
Okay.
That is the passenger right there. So 2 people now in custody. This is not the blue sweatshirted
No, that is a
individual.
different person.
Yep, so this is someone else. 2 people, 2 occupants of this vehicle bailed, and both are now in custody. Vehicle appears to be cleared. I don't know if there was anybody else, so we don't know if this is a code 4, all clear just yet. But as far as we know, the 2 people that we saw emerge from that vehicle both appear to be in custody.
Both who had taken off on foot trying to evade officers, both now caught. We're going to continue to watch the situation, and we'll be back on the air in just about 30 minutes on ABC7.
This has been breaking news on
Jesus Christ, people. Bullshit. Oh. Bull chase pickup truck with incorrect plates lead police on a dangerous chase. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Hello? There we go. Oh Jesus. No. No. Oh my God. What is he doing? Oh God. What is he doing? Oh my God. Incorrect plates. Yeah, dude, you're gonna. Oh my God. No. Oh no. What happened? Oh my God. Oh. Michael. Oh, my knee went pop. That's cool. Oh, my knee hurts like a bitch. Cool. Don't know what's going on. Where the fuck is that guy? No, what the fuck? Oh, why is, oh my God. Are his lights on or not? I can't really tell. I don't think they're even on. Maybe they are. I don't know. I can't tell. Can you guys tell? I don't think they are. No, they're not. Holy shit, this is, oh no. No. He's gonna, oh no. My God.
ABC7.com and our 24/7 streaming channels.
Oh my
Chris Christie
God.
up in Air 7 over a pursuit in the San Gabriel Valley, California Highway Patrol, trying to catch up with that Ford Raptor, a black Ford Raptor pickup truck, completely blacked out. There is a CHP
Holy
helicopter.
shit.
Actually, is that CHP or LAPD? The hell, CHP has just taken over the pursuit from the air. LAPD's helicopter has turned around. CHP's helicopter
Oh,
now
Jesus.
overhead. You'll occasionally
Turn
see
your lights
Night
on,
Sun
you
in the shot
fool.
here as he's turned off of Rosemead onto Garvey Avenue.
Oh my
weaving around
god,
traffic
this
here. You
gives
can
me
see
so
lightly
much
traveled Garvey
anxiety
Avenue
just
as he
watching
tries
this
to make
shit.
his way around here. This is a suspected stolen vehicle
The
with
thing
toll
is,
plates.
guys,
The
I'm
plates
on
do not
anxiety
match
meds, so
the vehicle, and he has
that
refused
tells
to
you a
pull
lot.
over, although it's unclear.
I take anxiety meds, and this video's giving me anxiety. So, that tells you a lot.
What the original want was. You can see him still traveling eastbound on Garvey Avenue.
Oh my god. My god.
Unclear how many people are inside this vehicle, guys, but you can see him making a left northbound turn onto Santa Anita, possibly. We're trying to catch up with this guy. He
Oh
is
my
flying through the San
god.
Gabriel Valley, and you can see very, very dark out here. We're actually relatively low
Scares me.
because of the ceiling out here, so we're trying to get a glimpse of him through the buildings and through the trees as he travels underneath the freeway here. Now at Amador and Santa Anita, traveling northbound on Santa Anita Avenue.
Leon.
In about 10 minutes.
That pickup truck continuing at a high rate of speed through these intersections here. Still on Santa Anita Avenue, passing Valley Boulevard. Now,
Oh my
there
god.
were LAPD units behind this pursuit. This all started in the San Fernando Valley. LAPD
Oh.
picking this up in the foothill area, ending up on the 170 freeway, and took him all the way down to the 101, eventually into the East LA interchange, and he took the 60 freeway all the way out to the 605 in a pretty short amount of time, doing at
God.
times triple-digit speeds in excess of 100 to 110 miles per hour. And if you know anything about these pickup trucks, you know that that Ford Raptor does not get very good gas mileage. At the speeds he's traveling, he's lucky to get 10 to 12 miles per gallon, but he is now slowing down a little bit, still Santa Anita Avenue, pulling up on McGurk, slowing down slightly as he continues with his lights off, headlights and taillights blacked out. No units behind this the suspect right now, but they are continuing to
Oh
track
my
him from
god.
above. Again, that
What
California
is he
Highway
doing?
Patrol has taken over the air duties from the LAPD just moments ago.
Where the hell is he going?
Making a quick eastbound turn there onto Hondo Parkway. Still no sign of law enforcement as they continue to track him through the San Gabriel Valley, again onto Hondo Parkway into a residential neighborhood. Coming towards us now here in El Monte as he continues up this residential street. There's that Night Sun trying to track him there. You can see CHP pointing straight down at him as he turns onto Tyler Avenue, continuing westbound now.
Oh jeez.
He's coming towards us, yep.
What is
Yep,
he
no worries. Yeah, no worries.
gonna do, dude?
Yep, all good.
Oh my god, this is giving me anxiety, guys. Oh my god.
Pickup truck
Oh,
coming
is
to a
he at
stop
a
here,
dead end?
possibly a cul-de-sac.
Oh, he's
Pushing
at a
in
dead end.
reverse,
Oh
coming
no.
really close to that parked car there. Looks like he's going to try and park it.
Oh
Jumping
no.
the curb, pulling up right in front of a box truck, doing a U-turn. Again, he
Bro,
doesn't have much pressure on him here. There are
you
no
just
law
look like
enforcement
you
units
just don't
pursuing him
give a
right now,
fuck.
but he is
Oh my
completely blacked out in
god.
a dark residential neighborhood at a dead end as he tries to get out of this pickle, trying to find an outlet out of this neighborhood. Again, we are in this El Monte neighborhood around Arrowwood Street and Ansel Place. And he's still doing about double the
Oh
speed
my
limit on these residential
god.
streets, about 60 miles per hour through these houses. Now turning on to Tyler. still waiting for any sign of law enforcement. Right now, we have not seen anybody behind him in quite
Oh,
some time.
geez.
LAPD was able to hand this off to the California Highway Patrol as he made his way through the East LA interchange and eventually onto the 60 freeway. That's where they handed it off. CHP did pick it up, but it does look like they have canceled this pursuit on the ground, but continuing to track him from the air.
It's been an hour. Okay. Oh my god, what the actual...
Northbound 2nd Avenue, coming into Arcadia here in the next mile or so. Getting a better glimpse of him here as he starts to pick up more speed here. Still doing about double the speed limit up 2nd Avenue. Really very little traffic out here this evening. You can see not a lot of cars to contend with. He's continuing to blow through red lights, though, at
Yes, he is, because they don't
a pretty
give a
fast
fuck.
clip without even braking, hardly any braking as he sped through that last intersection here. He's continuing northbound 2nd Avenue into Arcadia now, coming up on the 210 freeway shortly. Northbound 2nd Avenue through Huntington Drive, continuing northbound here through Arcadia. The 210 freeway is about 2 or 3 more traffic lights, but it looks like he's deciding to make a turn here, making a right turn. It's going to be eastbound Santa Clara Street.
Of course, you were at a stop sign. Cool.
Applesauce.
What are you talking about?
Applesauce is in the bedroom and I want it out.
What are you talking about?
I want my applesauce on my bedroom.
Where do you want it then? Streaming movie. That's sometimes.
He's about to go, I believe, under the 210. He already went under. That was the 210 overpass there. Now making a northbound turn away from the freeway. Still completely blacked out, and it's dark out here. You can see him still speeding up Monterey Avenue here towards Colorado Boulevard. Again, heading away from the freeway towards the foothills. Kind of all these turns appear to be very, very random. And it looks like the vehicle's come to a stop, making another U-turn. Now heading back eastbound Colorado Boulevard. It's going to be paralleling the 210 freeway here. You wonder if he's going to look for an opportunity to get back on the freeway and make his way eventually back towards the city. It's unclear, highly unclear where he resides or where this vehicle originates or where he is intending to go here. Really no clear destination, but we know that he picked this up in the San Fernando Valley. But right now he's heading absolutely in the opposite direction from the San Fernando Valley, eastbound through the San Gabriel Valley instead. So if he's got a destination in mind, certainly it's not apparent to us. And judging from what we're hearing on the radios here, they don't seem to have a whole lot of intel on this guy either. But it also doesn't appear that they're very dedicated to this. You know, they've given it up on the ground already. They're really just tracking him from above at a safe distance to try and figure out where he ends up. But right now, there is no law enforcement in place. Even if he was to come to a stop and get out of the vehicle, he would likely walk away from this without any problems. Again, LAPD abandoned this once they left the city's jurisdiction, and then California Highway Patrol just didn't like the speeds, I think, and they decided to pull back as well. They may let the local authorities know here, but LA County Sheriff likely monitoring this pursuit, but in all likelihood, they're going to track him to the end and then eventually get an address and gather whatever details they can from the helicopter before they file their paperwork here. But it doesn't look like there's any effort to bring this suspect into custody.
Wanna let you know. Pretty.
Was that Royal Oaks and Oak?
No.
Yeah, we're in the Duarte area here. He's continuing into a very heavily wooded neighborhood, making some random right turns. Not traveling terribly fast here. Now pulling back onto Royal Oaks Drive. Actually on the wrong side of the road here, fixing for another right turn. Doesn't want to get caught up in another dead end. He's making a lot of U-turns. For no apparent reason. For somebody who really doesn't know where they want to go, he seems to be second-guessing himself a lot. For no reason. Again, there's nobody behind him. So
Right,
really,
what the fuck is he doing? What is he
making a lot of
doing?
last-minute decisions. Obviously well aware of that helicopter overhead, and that night sun is having the effect of agitating him. It's making him think twice and trying to figure out probably where he wants to hide out. Whether he gives up or whether he tries to hide the vehicle somewhere else, who knows? But it's honestly anybody's guess what's going through his mind. Again, we don't even know how many people are inside this truck. Northbound Braywood. Another dead end, another cul-de-sac. Turning around. Yep. 3-point turn, and there he is. So he's going to try and make his way probably back out of this neighborhood. He's probably going to try and stay away from these residential blocks. I mean, he's had so much opportunity to really just lay low. And he was slowing down for a little bit until that night sun was right over him. But he's really not showing any intention of stopping here. And again, there's no law enforcement around him. Whether he realizes that or not is another story. But he obviously is aware of that helicopter. Every time that night sun is pointed in his direction, we see a little bit of a change of behavior behind the wheel, whether he speeds up or makes a random turn or whatever the case may be. Just kind of making this up as he goes along, zigzagging his way through these foothill communities.
My God, what the hell? Oh.
Looks like he's in a looks like an unpaved alleyway.
Oh my God.
And that's gonna put him onto Lemon Avenue at the end of this. Here he comes out onto Lemon Avenue. And a left turn westbound on Lemon Avenue. CHP's helicopter still overhead. And picking up a lot more speed now, doing about 70 miles per hour on Lemon Avenue through this quiet neighborhood. California Highway Patrol now bringing in the help of the LA County Sheriff's Department.
Oh,
We
Jesus.
expect that their helicopter will probably take this over or enter the scene here shortly. And you can see this this
Fuck
heavy
me.
truck not handling some of these speed bumps and bumps in the road very well. He's really bouncing around. When he's traveling at these speeds, you can bet that truck is not the most comfortable ride. Another right turn, and that looks like, is that Colorado up? Colorado Boulevard, 70 miles per hour down Colorado Boulevard. Oh. Still, yeah, nobody behind him, nobody behind him. Well, this is quite the joyride, and I think
Right.
the only thing that's going to stop this guy is his gas tank. I don't think he's, I mean, who knows how much gas he started with, but
Right.
I don't see him really, I don't know if he's under the influence or if he's just,
How can he fucking see? Oh my god, this is.
out on Green Avenue.
Oh my god.
Copy that.
Oh. Amazing.
California Highway
What
Patrol
the
still
hell is
applying
this?
pressure on the suspect. The night sun right through those trees here. I'm not sure if the vehicle's come to a stop.
Oh my
Or is he doing another U-turn?
god.
Backing up into a driveway and yet another U-turn.
Oh Jesus. Dude. I can't.
Is he? Okay, I got you. I see what you're saying. Yep. He's going into the mountains now, northbound Alta Vista Avenue. So Hillcrest ended there at Alta Vista Avenue, making a northbound turn, a right turn. That's going to send him further up into the mountains and away from our purview here. Again, there's a very low cloud ceiling here this evening. A lot of moisture in the air, very difficult to see. The California Highway Patrol helicopter is hovering right over him at probably no more than 400 feet, trying to get that night sun through the trees and keep an eye on this suspect. Very difficult work, but they are doing their level best to try and keep some kind of a visual on him. And basically doing what we're doing up here. We're staying closer to the 210 freeway where it is much safer, but you can see he's kind of traversing his way through these very upscale foothill communities right now on Alta Vista Avenue at Scenic Drive. Air 7 News Desk.
What, Chloe? Hang on, guys. I hope you didn't break my phone. Speed this up a little bit because no one's talking and I don't know what the fuck's going on. The fuck is he? Oh shit, dude.
She's talking. Is he in front or behind? My window or her window? Copy. Once again, if you're just joining us on ABC7.com and our 24/7 streaming channels, Chris Christie up in Air 7, as we continue to track the stolen black Ford Raptor, refusing to pull over for the LAPD. Eventually, they handed it off to the California Highway Patrol along the 60 freeway in the San Gabriel Valley, all the way out to El Monte, where finally California Highway Patrol gave this pursuit up. They are now relying on that helicopter overhead to track his movements and probably eventually catch up with this suspect. Again, it is believed to be a stolen vehicle. He's driving very recklessly with his lights blacked out, continuing to blow through red lights and stop signs, and really showing no regard for any of the traffic rules here. Fortunately, this evening we have not seen much in the way of car traffic, not a whole lot of pedestrian traffic in these residential neighborhoods at this time of the night, especially as he makes his way back towards the 210 freeway after getting lost up in the foothills near Bradbury in the Duarte area. He's kind of been bouncing around up here and traversing Colorado Boulevard, now heading southbound on Myrtle Avenue at Montana Street. Again, heading back towards the 210 freeway, where he will have the opportunity to get on the freeway at some point here. Actually, it looks like he just bypassed that opportunity. So he went under the 210 and is now continuing southbound Myrtle. Again, this all started in LAPD's Foothill Division up in the San Fernando Valley on surface streets as he crosses over the tracks here.
Of course.
Making a left turn onto Railroad Avenue, or Duarte Road. Nope. FM1. Booth, you up? Hey, Booth, I've got you. Copy that. A Ford Raptor.
Oh my god.
Here we go. Hospital.
Oh, jeez. The cop right there. I think that one's Bukim. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, what? Oh,
Ooh, stuck at the train tracks.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What is he gonna do? Oh no. Oh no, oh no. What is he gonna... Are you kidding me right now?
Has run afoul at this point of a train, a railroad crossing. Looks like a metro train. Let's get more from Chris Christie in Air 7. Chris.
Hey there, Mark. This guy's going on a real joyride, and really for no particular reason. Right
Oh
now,
my
there's no law enforcement on
god.
the suspect. However, it is believed to be a cold-plated vehicle that was in pursuit by the LAPD out of their Foothill Division. He led them on a high-speed chase through the San Fernando Valley, down the 170 freeway, over to the 101, through the Cahuenga Pass into Hollywood, down to the East LA interchange, and eventually all the way out to El Monte, where LAPD handed the pursuit off to California Highway Patrol, and eventually CHP just decided to let it go. He was traveling way too
Oh
fast with his
Jesus.
lights blacked out. You can see his headlights and his taillights completely dark. We don't know how many people are inside this vehicle, but again, it's a cold-plated Ford Raptor, so that plate does not
Oh
match
my
the truck,
god.
and so they believe it's probably a stolen vehicle, and they decided, let's just call in the airship. They handed it off to the CHP airship, and they have been tracking him ever since. Once in a while, you will see that night sun shine the light on him, but every time they shine that night sun on this suspect, it seems to have the effect of agitating him even more and driving more dangerously.
Oh
He's driving
shit.
much safer when he doesn't have any pressure on him. There you
Oh
see
my
a glimmer
god.
of that night sun as he parallels the 210 freeway on Duarte Road. He's been bouncing around these foothill communities between Monrovia, Duarte, Bradbury, Arcadia, really with no clear destination in mind, just kind of making this up as he goes along, and every once in a while, for good measure, he will pull a random U-turn in the middle of the street. We have seen a number of those, such as the one that you saw as we came on the air at the Metro tracks. He had every opportunity to just wait that train out, and look at this. For the first time in a half hour, we now have a local municipality about to engage with him once again, making the U-turn and now trying to catch up with this guy underneath the 210 freeway mark. He is now back in pursuit by one of these local agencies out here. I don't know which police department that is, but he had his lights and sirens blaring as this guy sped towards the 210, under the 210 freeway, and now we'll see if backup is on the way. But now they have a local jurisdiction pursuing the suspect, and you see just how low that CHP, is it CHP or LAPD? No, LAPD has now taken this over again from the air, so that LAPD air support
He'll be here soon. It takes him a little bit to get here. It takes him a little bit.
helicopter
Because it's all the way across town, Kel.
right over this suspect, no more than a couple hundred feet above him, as we continue to navigate a relatively low cloud layer here this evening. A lot of moisture in the air, very crowded airspace up here as he continues now northbound on Lemon Avenue, or California Avenue, I should say.
All right, and he is proceeding now, and is that ground unit still behind him, or has it backed off? The one that he passed
Pull
by?
back a little bit. I don't want to lose him, Robbie, but if you could tell, it looks like he's still back there, but he's about a quarter mile back, not exactly doing the same speeds as the suspect, who's now kind of weaving his way through here, maybe looking for an opportunity. Now, I've got to tell you, Mark, he's had every opportunity tonight to just dump this car if it's not his, hide out in a parking garage, or just park the car. He would have gotten away with this by now. Nobody would have bothered him. But he's continuing on this joyride, just weaving his way through these communities, and he has not managed to lose the attention of the airships overhead. Again, LAPD, California Highway Patrol, and even the LA County Sheriff's Department have been monitoring this pursuit and tracking this guy all the way
You
up
could
into
have
the
some
foothills, where
checks.
now he's making his way back through another quiet...
Can you come here real quick?
Okay. Give me like 2 minutes. Hurry up, I'm trying to understand. I can't move it. I can't move it.
Whoa. Hey, I promise in your class.
That's fine.
Thanks. Someone's getting a new trip.
I am. They're right here.
I don't
Right
like
here, where there's
this.
going to be even
That's
more
fine.
head-to-heads, and we've already seen him pull into a number of cul-de-sacs, and he just makes the U-turn
I'll
and
bite
continues the
tons
ride.
when
And
I
just really,
eat
you
stuff.
don't know whether he's under the influence or what's motivating
But
this
now
guy. But
it's
again,
different.
it's certainly not any pressure coming from law enforcement because there is nobody around him except for now this new local agency with 2 patrol cars trying to catch up with him.
And again, this is a vehicle that has cold plates, and that's police jargon for plates that don't match the vehicle. Plates that have been lifted from another car or vehicle and that have been placed on this truck, and which arouses, of course, immediate suspicion. That I believe in itself is a criminal act, and it can be used to try to conceal other criminal acts. So they want to get this. It could be a stolen vehicle, could be a stolen truck. Now they're trying to catch. Where'd he go? There he goes. Now, interesting, the range on this thing. You talked earlier before we came on the air about how the only limit to this maybe his range, how much gas he has. Well, it's got a 36-gallon fuel tank, and it can go between 500 to 650 miles on a full tank of gas. If so, this could be a very long pursuit if that's the only way that he ends up giving up by running out of gas. But what you've been noticing is that he goes into these dead ends, like as you see in the video on the right from earlier, in the upper San Gabriel Valley. He got kind of trapped in a residential neighborhood, had to turn around. Not an easy thing. It's a big truck. Takes up a lot of space, hard to do. So he's made some of those maneuvers throughout this process and ran through a fence, as you see there, going up that alley. That's video from about 15 minutes ago. Again, that was in the San Gabriel Valley. He's kind of been sticking to this area, but you see the speeds that he's on, that he's going now on this main street. This is Foothill Boulevard, is that correct?
Yeah, Foothill Boulevard, now 3 units behind him, including an unmarked vehicle in the middle, and now that is provoking him to really push the pedal to the metal here, doing speeds in excess of 70 miles per hour down Foothill Boulevard, blowing through red lights, closer to 90 miles per hour as he tries to create a little bit of distance and exit this jurisdiction. He picked the wrong town, and now he's trying to just kind of get away and fly into the night here. Again, you've got 3 units behind him, but they're going to have to pull back, especially at these speeds. You can see they've already fallen back a little bit, and that's been a trend. The speeds have been extreme at times, Mark, which is going to affect his gas mileage. I mean, at times, as he was making his way out to the San Gabriel Valley on the 60 freeway, he was doing in excess of 115 miles per hour. When we first caught wind of this pursuit, he was on the 170, and by the time we caught up with him, he was already in El Monte. So he traveled quite a bit of distance in a very short amount of time, and that is going to bleed a lot of fuel efficiency out of that probably best case scenario V6, a probably Eco V6 model, as you mentioned, 10 to 12 miles per hour at the very most, doing the speeds and just gassing it the way he has, using up a lot of horsepower and just trying to again create distance between him and now this new package of pursuit units. I just don't know the agency involved. It might have been Duarte, it might have been somebody else, but he is now out of that jurisdiction. I don't know. It looks like they might have pulled back as well. He is now continuing westbound Foothill Boulevard.
Westbound Foothill Boulevard. It seems like he slowed down just a little bit, which is good news. You don't want, whenever there's a traffic light here, the potential for cross traffic, of course, is there. He has blown through, like this red light he's just done right here. He's blown through quite a few of those just since we've been on the air. And the potential for a collision, it would be catastrophic for the other vehicle. This is a big, heavy pickup truck, and you certainly don't want him colliding with another vehicle. So that is something that's part of the calculus as officers decide, a sergeant or someone of rank will decide whether to continue the pursuit or whether to back off or how to continue with this. As far as we know, it's a possible stolen vehicle. We don't know for sure, but it has the wrong license plates on it, which leads us to believe, and law enforcement to believe, that it may have in fact been stolen. Unknown number of people on board this Ford Raptor that is now being pursued, we believe, by the agency whose city he just drove through in the upper San Gabriel Valley. The good thing here, as you're seeing, the streets pretty much deserted. That's good news. The fewer people that are out, the less likelihood of a collision. And we'll continue.
And he is now.
Go ahead.
He is now in Pasadena, so it's a larger jurisdiction with more resources, traveling through more of these red lights, just blowing right through them. But will he get the attention of Pasadena PD? That's what I'm wondering. They also have their own airship on standby as well. So if they decide to get involved here, we may very well see them light him up here. But it almost reminds me of if our viewers have ever played Need for Speed, where you're just kind of traveling on this endless joyride through various jurisdictions, and one minute you're in hot pursuit, and the next minute things cool down, and you just enjoy the joyride. He's kind of been doing that all night long. You'll see flashing lights behind him one minute, the next minute he's just, off into the night. The one thing that's been pretty consistent is the airship overhead. Whether they light him up or whether they've just been tracking him, the airship has been monitoring his movements, and that seems to be the consensus. Let the airship do the work and not put additional lives in danger at the speeds he's been traveling at, especially considering that his lights are off. The vehicle is blacked out, no headlights, no taillights. If he continues blowing through those red lights, somebody's going to get killed. In fact, he has barely even been braking as he approaches these major intersections.
Right.
So it's been
Oh my God.
really, heart-stopping at times, except the lucky thing is that there really has not been much traffic this evening. It's been he's chosen the quietest roads in each and every town he's traveled through here. And again, the airship has really been doing most of the work. But as you can see in this shot right here, it is a very hazy, moist night that is proving to be a little bit of a challenge, and it would not surprise me if even the airship eventually pulls off here. I'm almost surprised that they've been following him as long as they have. There have been 3 different airships, Mark, that have rotated out between LAPD, California Highway Patrol. At one point, the Sheriff's Department was on the way out here, but I think the last time we saw that nighttime on him, it was indeed a new LAPD airship trying to track his movements. And as I mentioned, Pasadena most likely monitoring this as well.
Oh,
as he comes up on the
Jesus.
freeway here, we are in a holding pattern ourselves because it is difficult, very difficult to see more than 100 or a couple hundred feet in front of us. So that's going to prove to be very difficult for law enforcement down below. Busy air traffic up here with a lot of helicopters trying to find this guy. And now it looks like for the time being, you can see we're quite a distance here, and it looks like he may be he may be his lucky night, although that airship still seems to be tracking something.
Yeah, we are limited, of course, by visibility, and if it gets a little foggy, a little hazy up there, especially at night, safety is, of course, the main concern here for everyone. And so we may not be able to continue with this. And the question then becomes what the parameters are for that law enforcement helicopter. We believe it's LAPD. Not sure if it still is. We did see one earlier that is up above. And yeah, there he is. This is still Pasadena.
It looks like still Pasadena, northbound Altadena Drive. And it does sound like the airship is going to give it up. So the airship is now pulling out. He is driving away. And you can see just how pitch black it is down there. If we even catch a glimpse, it'll be through some of these trees here. But for the most part, it looks like I think he's going to get away with this one, Mark.
All right. Well, Chris Christie in Air 7. We're going to keep an eye on this, and if we re-engage, we will certainly come back to you, but it appears he has disappeared into the night, and maybe, as you said, it may have been his lucky day. We will see. Moving on to other news, of course, the attack in Iran, day 5 of the conflict, now spreading thousands of miles.
I'm good. You? Yeah.
Get out of this vehicle, but it looks at this point right now.
DHP chase white vehicle near East Los
We can see
Angeles.
police
Oh,
officers right behind them, Colleen, but this is an area maybe we saw them in Commerce, trying to figure out exactly where they are, but it could be East LA, and now it does look like they're about to head back on the freeway.
Yeah, and Philip, I think you said it at the beginning of this breaking news. They were wanted for a failure to yield. So that's it seems like a nothing sort of routine police stop, but as we know, many times a routine traffic stop turns into something quite dangerous, and this is certainly proving to be the case. But that white car, it is cooking. It is going so fast, exceeding all the speed limits right there. And it is remarkable. We do not see the CHP.
Simple traffic stop,
I believe
dude.
they're in tracking mode as well, Philip.
Well, this started on the 710 in the San Gabriel Valley. It moved on to the 5 freeway. And again, there we picked it up again, quickly left the freeway. It doesn't look like there's any damage to the vehicle, but you can notice moving lane to lane, it's come very close to hitting vehicles. We saw him get off the freeway, almost as if he was searching for something. We do not know at this point how many people are in the vehicle, but we again are on the 710. Does look like we are going northbound. And as we all know, the 710 is eventually going to run out of room. So we're not sure exactly how far he's going to go before having to exit again.
Right.
So we're into the San Gabriel Valley, now moving off over into the shoulder, and we're moving up past the 10 there. So trying to avoid some of the congestion. Looked like he was about to get off on the 10 there, but moved over. We don't know if this was a stolen car, if maybe they picked up that as a stolen car. Don't know if it was a traffic stop that they wanted, but we do know that officers tried to pull this vehicle over at some point, and it was a failure to yield that started this pursuit.
Yeah, and a moment ago I said I didn't see CHP. I did end up seeing a CHP motorcycle police officer. So again, we know that law enforcement knows the suspect, where they're located, but again, we're not necessarily seeing CHP in pursuit of this vehicle. And again, they're making remarkable progress on the roads because there was a lot of extra congestion today. Thursday mornings tend to be full of traffic. And look at this.
Now we've gotten to the area where he has run out of freeway. So now you're going through an intersection.
My God.
The 710 has ended. So now he's going to end up in South Pasadena. And this is Surface Street. So we're going to find out if this person is familiar with this part of the area. Looks like our SkyMap 7 has Westmont and Front Street. Now we're going down a side street. Could be another situation where we saw a moment ago where he did a U-turn and then started going into another different direction. And that's exactly what he's gone here again. This is apparently unfamiliar territory.
Tinted. So again, we don't know if there's any other occupants in this car. And these drivers, they are completely unaware that this car is being pursued. They just see a car that is cooking, flying, look at right on the other side of the road, putting so many lives in danger right now.
And he has not even, the one thing that makes this more dangerous is he's driving into oncoming traffic and he's not even slowing down into these intersections. But now here we go. He did do exactly what we thought. He left the freeway just as he's done before, turned around, and now he's getting back, and it looks like he's going to be going southbound on the 710. He left the freeway, drove into that neighborhood, made a U-turn, got back on. But like you mentioned a moment ago, Colleen, no CHP officers that we've seen directly behind him, but he has really been driving recklessly at high rates of speed, even without seeing the officers directly behind him. And that's very troubling when you think about this type of driving.
Well, this is one of those times where you wonder, are they monitoring the media? Are they finding out that they are being actually pursued? Because I would think that usually, Philip, you know, most of the time these people, when they find out that they're not, they see nobody chasing them, they ease off on the gas pedal. They drive much more safely. But this driver is going, you can see SkyMap 7 is clocking this driver. I think I just saw 98 miles an hour. So well above the speed limit, putting so many and going onto the shoulder right there. Getting a little squirrely, I think. We're going to, hopefully the person doesn't crash right there because again, it is very dangerous, high rate of speed. We know the CHP, we know law enforcement are very well aware of this person, but they have not shown up in force behind them to put that extra heat on them.
And again, you know, high rates of speed. I don't know if that miles per hour that you're seeing there on the screen is accurate, but certainly he's in the neighborhood of 100 miles an hour or so, because you can look at the lack of people on the freeway, and he is just completely moving through. So again, this is southbound, so he'll have some freeway to choose from here. That 710 North clearly ends in South Pasadena, but now that's another move that he has done several times. He will use that off-ramp to use as a passing lane almost, and then he'll get back onto the freeway. And he has just gone several lanes of traffic over and back, and he is not showing any signs of concern for any other people on the road. And that is what's making this so dangerous, because if somebody is making just a proper lane change, he'll run up on them. He's coming up on the 5 intersection here. This is a section where many people will take this 710 to, you know, move around traffic that's on the 5, and then they'll get back onto the 5. So that gets really congested there. But it looks like he's going to stay on the 710, and that gets really gummy right in there. So he is just navigating around that. Looks like he'll continue there onto the 710.
Can't really tell if he does know this area very well, because he does stay on the 710. We have seen the suspect. It does look like he's a male in driving. But again, look at that. I mean, I'm amazed that he just crossed over so many lines and went on uneven pavement as well. So this driver, it leads me to believe that this is probably their vehicle, because they are driving it really with the agility, which is incredible.
Well, Bruce Thomas is on the phone with us now, and we can kind of get an idea as to what, as we see his person navigate these lanes recklessly. This is going to be a dangerous spot here.
Oh my God!
And you see people being forced into off ramps. So he's leaving the road here. But Bruce,
you see
not directly behind him. Possibly they might be following this from above. Again, this guy's pulling into traffic, no total disregard. What's CHP going to do when you see this kind of reckless driving, and they're just basically monitoring it?
CHP is going to back off. The risk to the public, to the suspect, to the officers is just too great. The speeds are way too high. So by backing off, hopefully that sends a message to the suspect that, hey, I'm not being chased anymore, so I can slow down and I can, just kind of calm down.
Yeah, and Bruce, you kind of called out, and we then got an email update from our news desk saying that the ground units have been called off, and they do have their airship that's obviously tracking this. But again, I think that they have to monitor this really closely, and a lot of decision making goes into whether to employ the ground troops or, again, trying to see how, this cat and mouse game on what's safety to the public, what this person's wanted for. But it was a failure to yield. That was the original want. So doesn't that lead you to believe that, they're obviously wanting to get away for unknown reasons?
Yeah, we have a failure to yield, and my understanding is that it's a possible stolen vehicle. And what's even more dangerous is that the driver inside was possibly doing some sort of narcotics, as they had a view of that. So those are just things that just pile on to make it more difficult for law enforcement.
Well, Bruce, while you're with us, it does look, and most of our viewers are going to realize this as well, that we might have even lost the vehicle. And there are times, as you look at East Washington there, it might be East Los Angeles area that we're in. He was heading southbound on the 710 and kind of went under one of the overpasses. But if we're having a hard time keeping up with him, sometimes the airships are as well. They're flying at a lower altitude than us, so sometimes they can keep up with him. This is earlier that you're seeing there on the right as we try to re-engage. But, the thing I was noticing, Bruce, is that it didn't matter that the officers were right behind him or not right behind him. This person was driving recklessly regardless. So at times, don't you need to engage just to get this kind of person off the road?
That's correct. I mean, that's one of the things that they weighed, the safety to get this person, as you said, off the roadway for the safety of everybody, the general public. However, also they have to weigh what's the crime. And in this case, you have possibly taking a vehicle without the owner's consent, which is a misdemeanor, plus the reckless driving, the pursuit charges. They're all misdemeanors. So does that outweigh the danger?
Ooh, now the driver's going into a gas station right there. You can see the Shell gas station on East 57th and Atlantic Boulevard. We can't see them, so they're being shielded by that the little canopy over there.
He's an
so
asshole.
Not exactly sure what's happening inside there. But again, we saw him get dangerously close to getting into a wreck a moment ago, Philip.
No, that's East 57th and Atlantic Boulevard.
What the fuck is he doing?
I was going to ask Bruce if they would engage at that
Oh
point
my
if this person
God.
stopped and filled up gas and took off again. But we almost saw another one of those accidents. So Bruce, in the circumstance where this person were to get in an accident, we see him run through a stop sign right there because it's possible. Are officers going to swoop in fairly quickly? I mean, they're likely still monitoring this person's behavior, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And they are in the area under mutual aid.
News special report.
And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips once again with a major Aaron Katersky, where we have confirmed that the man that rammed his vehicle into the synagogue there in West Bloomfield and a fire.
Right there, right now. Yeah. No, I get.
reckless driving. You saw him hit a couple of dips on the road, and it almost looked as if he was losing control of his car.
Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
you know what? Again, Philip, I'm amazed. And I think, Bruce Thomas, I'm not sure if you're still there. But again, we don't know. You said it might be a possible stolen vehicle. We're seeing this suspect now pull up to a residence. We're not sure. And they're getting out of the car. We don't know if they're from this area. And there's a little dog that just ran out. So it's making me believe that this is his home because he just pet the dog's little head. So I'm not quite sure. Bruce Thomas, are you still joining us right now?
I think I've already seen this one, but
You're seeing where he just pulled into that residence and he's now going inside the residence. And
Must be
if it is a friendly residence, that creates another problem for law enforcement because now he can possibly barricade himself in our family member's home. Are they going to turn him over? Are they going to rationalize with him to give himself up? Those
Somebody's
are some
just
of
left the back.
I don't know if that, I don't think that's the driver. I don't know.
No, I'm saying somebody might have left the back door. But Bruce, we also saw him throw a canister of some sort out the window. Now, I don't remember if we actually saw that on the air, but during our monitor in here in the studio, it almost appeared as if he threw a canister. You remember, you were saying that you saw possibly some sort of usage of something, and it could have been huffing. He might have been doing something like that. We don't want to overly speculate, but we've seen that in chases before, and he did throw something out of the window. Now, the question is, he's in a home with a gate pulled. Would officers now barricade this place, or are the charges not such that they would do that? Or how would you approach this at this point?
Yeah, Philip, that was a great observation. I saw the same thing you did. He pulls in, and now they've closed the gate behind him, which makes me believe that these are friendlies. So law enforcement may have to actually get a search warrant to go in and seize him and whatever evidence he threw on that property.
Yeah, I actually think it was an electric gate that opened up, and then because he ran in and then it was closing. There wasn't someone right behind him who was closing it. So again, it leads me to believe that this may be his property. But again, we don't know. That suspect did get out of the vehicle. Didn't we see him get out of the vehicle? Because then we saw somebody else behind the vehicle, behind the house.
And if he opened the gate and shut the gate, that would lead me to believe that it's not a stolen vehicle.
Right.
So he probably lives there, which would lead officers to know who lives there, which again, like Bruce is saying, means that you likely only have a failure you're back to square one, Bruce, where you've got failure to yield. You've got a litany of traffic violations, but again,
you don't give a fuck.
At what level do they rise? Do you have a felony?
It doesn't look like he gives a fuck.
I suppose, does the chase rise to a felony?
No, it's just a failure to yield, reckless driving. We didn't see any accidents or anybody get hurt because of his driving. So we have all misdemeanors, which means basically they may do a consent to see if they can come on the property, whoever owns it, has title and stature to the property, and see if this person's inside. The other thing, too, is what good visual did they have of the suspect? We saw him wearing there's now roosters on the area, but we saw like a gray hoodie type thing. Did he change clothes? Has he changed his appearance?
Well, we do see police now showing up, so it does look as if this is going to be a situation that is going to be long playing, and we are going to probably have to wait and see on what the result of this will be.
Yeah. And stay with us. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Oh, fuck off. Sound is so fucking annoying. Sorry, guys. Oh. Yeah, I think I've seen this one already, but no, refresher. Or I'll see it again, whatever. I think this one's hysterical. God, this is like a fucking fire alarm. Jesus Christ.
enforcement is surrounding the house. We do not know if that suspect is going to give himself up. But again,
it's a bit of a standoff. We'll follow it, have later editions of Eyewitness News to give you details. Right now, we need to go.
The mid-90s out there for this afternoon, but right now we are looking at temperatures at 88 in Ojai.
I'm sorry, guys. You have to listen to this. This is so annoying. Did they get him or what the hell? Oh, shit. Even gonna. My God. Oh, jeez. I think I've seen this one already. I'm pretty sure. Let's speed this up a little bit. And there's police there. Bring the phone here, please. Was my phone charged?
Tell you.
Yes. Streaming what? Yeah. That's fine. Okay. You. Okay. Okay. Nothing. Harry's like literally over my damn shoulder. Would you lay down, bitch? I did a few. I didn't do much. Been taking care of Harry, so I haven't been able to do much. He looks better, but he's been laying on the bed all day. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, lovely. Yeah. What? Oh. In the room. Too busy with Harry. Mm-hmm.
Buddy, love you. Love you.
Hmm? Hmm.
Love you, Mom.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where's Bailey's on the phone?
why?
He always calls me at the worst fucking time.
In case he gets home? That's how he calls you? Yeah, that's great.
You damn well know I stream in the middle of the day.
Oh, you're in charge. I have my sticker here.
Every time.
That's fine. You too. I'm trying to watch
Just a
you.
second. Just a second.
Look at Harry. He's like,
Hair glove.
Harry's like,
Just had to.
relax.
I just had to look at something real quick. Oh boy. Okay. I'll see what this one's like.
Today, caught on camera.
Here we go again, a very dangerous high-speed chase. Ontario police in pursuit of...
A driver in a stolen pickup plays a real-life game of Frogger as he cuts through intersections and weaves erratically through traffic. But when the roads leave him wanting more, it's time for some off-roading. Then,
either he could back strip out time, or he was able to maneuver around it.
a driver in a silver Toyota leads CHP on a multi-freeway chase. The crime, an alleged cell phone violation. When the pursuit makes it onto surface streets, the standoff begins.
If that truck would stop, CHP might be able to box this guy in.
When every second counts and every decision could be life or death, watch these incidents unfold from KTLA's Eye in the Sky. This is Caught on Camera.
Oh boy.
Here we go again, a very dangerous high-speed chase. Ontario police in pursuit of the stolen pickup truck. They're southbound on Norwalk Boulevard. This pursuit's been going on for about 30 minutes, maybe a little less than that, but it started in the Ontario area, came westbound on the 60 freeway, south on the 605, got off in the Whittier area, made its way through surface. Here we are on Norwalk, crossing under the 5 freeway here as the Ontario police still in pursuit of this vehicle. They have 2 airships overhead, one from Ontario PD and another from the sheriff's. Wrong side of the road. Here we go.
It's an early February evening in Norwalk, but as the sun begins to set, the danger on the road is rising. Ontario police are in pursuit of a driver in a stolen pickup who's cutting through intersections, desperate to get away as he weaves around vehicles and pedestrians. All the while, tools and lumber appear to rattle and shake in the truck bed, posing another type of risk to those trailing behind.
You know, you take a look at this and you wonder about all the people that are at this hour, 5 o'clock, either getting home, making their way home, the pedestrians on the street, as he has no regard whatsoever for any of the motoring public, nor the pedestrians, as you can see right there, just blowing through that intersection, that stoplight. And we also saw him at some point going on the opposite side of the road, on opposite lanes, and it's really very dangerous. I'm surprised that the Lumbers even just stayed put there and secure, because that's just another factor that could be dangerous for anyone that's driving behind him.
Oh, no doubt. So far, it's hanging in there. It looks like it's partially tied, so maybe that's what's keeping it in. But at these speeds, at the way the driver's driving recklessly through these intersections and making sudden turns, it's a surprise they're still in there. But at this point, the driver, we haven't been able to see if there's a passenger on board, but the driver with his window down, we got a close shot here. He's weaving around traffic here through a stop sign and right-hand turn into, it looks like a neighborhood.
The aggressive tactics continue as the driver races through residential streets, slowing for a brief moment only as he approaches Imperial Highway and has to maneuver around a crush of cars.
Here we go. They got a stop sign there. We got
you gotta be kidding me.
Squeezing his way through there. Here's the major, this is Imperial Highway, wrong direction. He's going to go westbound here. So at this point, a wide shot and see just how close they've kind of fallen back due to the fact that this driver's run multiple red lights and had to stop at all that cross traffic. Very difficult time right now. Of course, rush hour upon us, and this driver going against traffic once again. Here's another intersection again. Pedestrians through the crosswalks there. Here, look at this bicyclist. Oh my gosh. Unknown to that bicyclist. Wow, it's unbelievable. So,
and that's almost when you wish that the PD, that's almost when you wish that Ontario PD, had the sirens on so that people like that woman or man that was on that bike would have some kind of warning.
No warning from sirens, but a possible hint of things to come as the driver goes off-road, crossing the median as he attempts to find any way to evade capture.
I'm sure a lot of people that are in this neighborhood who might be home already, hearing at least 2-3 airships above them, wondering what's going on and turning on the TV to see this. We ask you to just be careful and heed the warning to stay indoors, because these are the kind of situations where we could see that they might foot bail into your neighborhood. But now he's getting onto the 605 freeway. It's the 105.
It's the westbound 105, but it's not for long.
Coming out of Norwalk. All right, and now, wow. Onto the berm on the side of the freeway. One thing has been a constant with this driver. He keeps moving. Whether it's a red light, whether there's cross traffic or pedestrians, he continues moving. And look at this. With an opportunity on the freeway, instead,
can karma just catch up to him?
And there you see law enforcement ready
to
just catch up to him
in
as he tries to come back out onto the freeway. And look, that looks like he's going underneath.
What the fuck?
Into a wash. Yes, he went under the bridge there. He went down the embankment of the wash, under the 105 freeway there, and now not coming out. So it's likely he's on foot at this point. But under there, those
my God.
On the transition road onto the freeway when he decides to just go off-roading there down the embankment, a very steep embankment, and now just completely underneath that bridge there, waiting for the suspect to pop out. But so far, nothing.
That is incredible. What you just saw there, we're going to try and re-rack it, is the car go onto the freeway entrance and then make it onto the berm there on the side of the freeway and down into the wash. We are overhead now, and we believe that the suspects are there. Did you see somebody running there?
Yeah, somebody ran toward the chopper's direction, right underneath what would be the eastbound transition, and nope, that's a biker. Okay, so yeah, we saw movement. Somebody underneath there. Yeah, there you see him underneath running.
There he is, yep.
The suspect who recklessly drove that stolen truck out of the Ontario area is hidden under the freeway transition on foot after electing to abandon the wide-open freeway, off-roading into the wash, and as reports suggest, crashing into a chain-link fence, rendering the truck immobile.
Law enforcement in a situation now where they're going to have to get down in there. They clearly know he's down there. There was at least one black and white right on him as he went over the edge into the wash and then the foot bail. So they're clearly aware of his location and the situation they're dealing with. How they go about bringing this suspect into custody ought to be interesting.
And it's about to get more interesting as a figure in a black hoodie, potentially the suspect, emerges from under the freeway and stumbles towards a homeless encampment.
Boom, just beneath the camera shot, and look at him go. This potentially is a suspect, so it looks like you call him with a black hoodie, and what's he going to try and blend in here potentially? This is not the first time we've seen this. An effort to blend into a crowd, be it a homeless encampment or for a building, a parking garage, hospitals, casinos. We've seen it all. Law enforcement up against it here. Yeah, you wonder how good of a description law enforcement got. This driver was down into the wash. That is not the same person that walked into the homeless encampment. Did they get eyes on that? That's the same person that just went in there. We don't know again if that's the suspect, but this is what law enforcement is dealing with. Did they get eyes on this individual when he jumped out of that stolen truck, or perhaps beforehand during the pursuit, enough to know what they're looking for?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you want?
Some cheesing?
What?
Some cheesing?
Let me see if I can find it. Oh, there. It's somewhere down.
so difficult to say. You know,
Can I have
I'm
that
going to zoom into someone here. There is a tent under there, and so
difficult.
There's quite a few people that are down there in that homeless encampment. But right now, so far, that person is still unsure which one it could be. It quite possibly could be that one that. And here comes the vehicle out of nowhere. This could be potentially the suspect in that vehicle. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah. A lot of definitely a distraction and confusion. The suspect has caused that for authorities at this point, but there are a lot of eyes on this area with 2 choppers, one from Ontario PD and one from the Sheriff's Department, along with media airships. And now we've got our eyes on this random car that came out from under there.
That random car that emerged from the wash makes its way back into residential streets. Any thought it may be the suspect are dashed as it pulls up along a patrol car, appearing to give them a tip of what they witnessed under the freeway. Sky 5 pulls out, the full scene unfolding below, though no sight of the suspect. But that doesn't mean there's no resolution to this case. As reports suggest, officers in K9 units eventually did locate him. The driver found soaking wet in a change of clothes he found inside that homeless encampment. His previous outfit found inside the stolen truck. The truck left abandoned after a wild pursuit. That pursuit caught on camera. It's October 17th, 2025. Dodgers. Meanwhile, a show of a different kind is unfolding on the 14 freeway in Santa Clarita. A procession of CHP vehicles are in pursuit of a silver Toyota. The chase beginning in the Antelope Valley. The reason for that chase, a bit of a surprise.
CHP saying that this person initially, they were trying to make a stop on the car for a cell phone violation. So possibly this person was seen on the cell phone and now wanted for felony evasion as we make our way through the Santa Clarita Valley and towards the Newhall Pass. And we'll see if this driver decides to go through the Newhall Pass or cut up the 5 freeway. But for right now, all we can tell is that it's just the driver in the vehicle. Looks to be some items in the back seat there, a lot of clutter. Have not seen anybody in the passenger seat at this time. And the tires are still intact, so they have not tried to put out a spike strip just yet. However, that could change here very shortly as they're looking to bring this to a stop before it gets into the San Fernando Valley. Again, this person wanted out of Antelope Valley, possibly on the cell phone, and now evading the CHP.
Traffic surprisingly light on the 14 on this Friday afternoon, but the driver in that silver Toyota thankfully isn't using the open road as an excuse to push the pedal to the metal. Instead, he appears to be respecting traffic laws, traveling around 65 miles per hour as he stays in the middle lane.
The vehicle supposedly is registered out of Lancaster, and we can see in the driver's seat, it's been a while since we've been able to see inside a car that's being pursued. Generally, they're tinted windows, but you can see clearly in the driver's seat there, on the items in the car, not knowing whether or not this person is armed. The CHP has not mentioned anything in regards to whether or not they believe this person to be armed, or if they know who this guy is, other than the fact that he was supposedly seen on the cell phone and now not wanting to surrender to the CHP.
The line of CHP vehicles is staying pretty close on the Toyota's tail, though a pit maneuver is unlikely, even on this sparsely populated freeway.
Usually when these guys or women are being pursued and they put the window down, typically they're waving their arms or throwing out money or doing something erratic, but very calm, at least from what we saw. There was a little clutter in the back. It looked like a bunch of papers, possibly, who knows what's in the back, but no passenger, according to Rich, at least from their vantage point.
Again, this is the 14 South. Rich said that they were watching to see if this driver would take the Newhall Pass. Rich, I'm not sure if we've passed that point yet here in Santa Clarita.
We are coming up on we're coming up on the intersection, the interchange right now, and you know it's funny. We said the traffic was light, but right as the CHP was attempting to throw out a spike strip, that silver pickup was there in the slow lane. They were unable to throw out the strip, so they're going to have to make another attempt here
Let's rewind. Did you catch that moment? The pre-positioned CHP officer standing on the side of the freeway abandons his spike strip deployment, avoiding the collateral damage of deflating the tires of the innocent driver in the silver pickup. Meanwhile, the pursuit on the open freeway continues. The suspect, who failed to yield after a reported cell phone violation, leaves the 14, committing to the southbound 5 into the San Fernando Valley.
This driver seems to be following traffic laws at this point, not weaving in and out of lanes, not going excessive speeds. Was there any sort of erratic driving before we picked up the pursuit, Rich?
Not that we had heard. Oh, there's a spike strip. See there? So he just threw it from the center divider there. And
two. Wow.
Not entirely sure if they made contact. Trying to follow up on the police scanner in the other ear at the same time. So bear with me as I'm trying to relay as much information. Generally, they will say whether or not the spike was effective or not effective, and I did not hear that call. So we'll see if the tires here deflate shortly, but they were able to get that spike strip out right at the transition as he was picking up the 5 freeway from the 14. Negative spike is what I'm hearing right now. So at this point, what I'm hearing is that he was able, either they didn't get the spike strip out in time, or he was able to maneuver around it. But the second attempt with the spike, and this person has managed to dodge both of those. So, but for right now, you can see there's virtually minimal cars here on the freeway, which also kind of works in favor of the CHP, because they could try and find those opportunities to try and throw out a spike strip. Whether or not they would attempt to pit this person, I guess we'll see. The speeds are still relatively high, so they wouldn't do it at full freeway speeds, at 65 miles an hour. But if this person decides to maybe take an off-ramp and slow it down, then maybe they could get in there and try and spin the car around. But at this point, really only the spike strips are going to be an effective way to bring this guy to a stop.
Having evaded 2 separate spike strip attempts on 2 separate freeways, the 14 and the 5, the driver decides to try his luck at a third freeway, the southbound 405. The fleeing suspect continuing to abide by traffic laws, with, it appears, both hands on the wheel.
Oddly enough, I have not seen him on the cell phone.
Yeah, I was going to say, both hands have been on the wheel since we started looking for this person. And Rich, is there any specific information about the cell phone violation? Was this person weaving because they were texting? Any
violation? So I'm under the assumption that this person was seen on the cell phone while driving and now evading the CHP. So that's really the only information they have provided at this point. And then again, the plates come back to Lancaster, so it likely started in that area. I know it was coming down the 14 for a while before we could catch up to it. As when we launched, it looks like maybe he's got his hand up there. He could be texting.
After transitioning from the 14 to the 5 to the 405, the driver appears to grow tired of the freeways, slowing as he approaches the Nordhoff exit.
We're now in the San Fernando Valley, and he's made his way towards the slow lane, slowing down. Looks like he might be exiting here at Nordhoff. So let's see what transpires here. If he's going to come to a stop, he's really slowing down here. Oh no, he's got cars in front of him. So, all right, CHP has an opportunity to box him in. If that car, that truck, that looks like that truck looks like DWP to me.
Oh, interesting.
Looks like a city truck there, but let's see. If that truck would stop, CHP might be able to box this guy in.
Coming up, the driver wanted for a cell phone violation, now off the freeway. CHP appears to have the suspect boxed in, but do they really? The dramatic conclusion caught on camera.
Oh my God.
Looks like he might be exiting here at Nordhoff. So let's see what transpires here. If he's going to come to a stop, he's really slowing down here.
After a lengthy pursuit on the 14, 5, and 405 freeways, a driver originally stopped for a cell phone violation exits the freeway at Nordhoff in the San Fernando Valley. 3 CHP vehicles are close behind, looking to bring this to an end.
If that truck would stop, CHP might be able to box this guy in, but of course we would never encourage that. But just based on what we're seeing, that's a possibility.
It seems like he could take a hard left if he wanted to, but he's not really attempting to do that. This is the tricky part for officers. This is the dangerous part.
Yes, could simply go up on a curve there and try and make his way around. Let's see this. Okay, so there's no one in front of that truck. He's kind of trying to make up his mind on whether he wants to, get involved here or not. But okay, so he's pretty much moving out of the way. So he's going to have to get back in their car. And this guy still, even though he had an opportunity to stop and surrender to authorities, he's not wanting to do so yet. So.
I do wonder why they wouldn't box him in at that point. When everything's so slow, they're on an off-ramp. Didn't seem to be a lot of other people around.
Well, yeah, there's only three CHP here, which, generally we'll see about 6. Might make things a little easier. And, of course, with a civilian right there in close proximity, they got to be careful because if they had gotten out, boxed this guy in, You know, they got their guns drawn. This white truck all of a sudden would be in the crossfire with the CHP, and that could just create an even bigger issue.
The chase is back on as the fleeing driver continues to evade officers while still obeying general traffic laws. 3 CHP units continue to follow on the ground, a police helicopter up above. But as the chase spills onto surface streets into LAPD's jurisdiction, more cars and choppers could soon be getting involved if this drags on any longer. But as the procession approaches a red light at Woodley, it appears that might not be the case.
He's going to stop.
It's so interesting to have a driver who's obeying all the traffic laws and driving politely in a pursuit, also just not pulling over for the police.
Gosh, there are a lot of pedestrians on the far right over there. Just, I know it's so tempting to be in that situation. It does look like they are backing out of the way, which is a very smart move. Every time we have these pursuits, the officers that we talk to always say, do not get involved. As much as you think you want to help or watch or take videos, it's just not safe. It hinders their work, but it also puts you in danger. He's not going.
It looks like the light has turned green, so he's just stopped there, basically in the crosswalk. So even the other direction of travel is stopped. They see what's going on. They see the guns drawn. Nobody is moving here as far as vehicles, with the exception of the people that now want to turn. But for the most part, they're not. Some people are turning here, but you know, it interrupted the intersection here for just at least for a short time. And those people that were on the sidewalk have moved out of the way. So we'll see what's going on. But you know, it makes you wonder. What else is happening with this individual when, you know, if it was something as simple as a cell phone violation, and next thing you know, you're leading the CHP on an hour-long pursuit.
CHP officers have their guns drawn as the silver Toyota sits idle at the intersection. Then, movement. The window rolls down, revealing a welcome sight for officers.
Here's the keys and the lanyard. He's going to possibly drop them out the window. That's exactly what the officers want to see first. You know, turn off the car, throw the keys out. Okay, so now they know that the possibility of this car taking off again is minimal. They're going to want to see some hands. And I don't see, it's kind of difficult. It doesn't look like, I don't believe he's got anything, at least in that right hand or the left hand. He appears to be wearing a mask, like a, you know, medical
surgical mask.
Yeah. And still a lot of items in the car. It's, well, we got bags in the back seat, so hopefully nothing else that's at least for this person, nothing else that's illegal.
So we can assume that they're giving him directions right now on what to do.
Absolutely. He's got his lunch with him, so may want to enjoy that before he surrenders. But here he comes out of the car.
The driver, with some food now in his stomach, emerges from the car, facing off with 4 CHP units. Just as he complied with traffic laws, the suspect appears to comply with officer commands as he backs towards them, arms stretched high in the air.
We're on the corner of Nordoff and Woodley, as you can see, here in the North Hills area. This person was wanted for a cell phone violation, led CHP on a pursuit southbound on the 14 all the way from Lancaster, and has now exited and has decided to come to a stop at the intersection, throw out the keys, and back up.
Damn it.
What is he barking about?
I don't know. Come on. Stop.
With his hands up,
Maybe he's
and you
gonna
should see
get
him
stuff.
being taken into custody here in just a second. They'll search the car, but it didn't appear that anybody else was in there. And there you go. All right, so suspect now.
I thought you wanted to break it.
What a bizarre pursuit this was, Rich.
Usually they have them get on their knees too, which seems dangerous. Whew.
Yeah, it did appear because this person did not seem to be reckless or armed, you know, basically making any sort of criminal threats. I believe they felt confident this person would be able to just back up and comply. And, you know, to be honest with you, we don't know if this person tried to contact law enforcement.
As arresting CHP agents search the driver, removing items from his pockets, including the cell phone that likely set off this whole series of events, officers also take a peek inside the Toyota, cluttered with bags and other items. The pursuit termination, arrest, and investigation already tying up traffic at the intersection. But maybe the traffic won't last long, as an officer decides to take matters into his own hands.
You can see now the officers driving this vehicle where they'll be able to maybe assess the situation a little more in detail instead of being in the middle of the interstate or the intersection.
Yeah, great move by the CHP here to help out traffic. So they know that this was going to tie it up for a while. So yeah, just pulling over off to the side here.
Great.
And you know, likely won't be any need for LAPD to come over here and assist with traffic control. And they'll put this guy, the suspect, the driver of that car that was leading CHP on pursuit. They've got him in the back of the cruiser. So they should be wrapping this up shortly.
Boy. Okay. Okay, guys. So that's it for the car streams. Hopefully, I'll probably be back on here shortly to do body cams, but who knows? I don't know what I'm doing yet. But yeah,